Launched the Grand i10 in South Africa about 2 years ago, and then in February this year they launched a facelift version and brought in a couple of changes and a couple of extra models. On the front end in particular, you'll see that they changed the bringing in daytime running lights, changed the grille very slightly, and just modernized the look very marginally. This particular model that we got on test here is the top of the range 1.2 glide version, so it does have a few items like the mag wheels as standard, very neat looking and giving a good look to it. Otherwise, the Grand i10 is a standard body shape over here. You come round, nice 4-door hatchback in, I would say, the B segment, and you come to a boot which gives you, in standard format, 184 litres of boot space. The backrest of the back seat folds down in one piece and can give you 928 litres of total load space if you require. But then remember, you either have a 2-seater or 4 to 5-seater. There's no other configuration available. You close the boot lid and you will see that on the top version it does also include rear park distance control as standard. But most of the changes are on the interior, and featuring this glide version with its 1.2 litre 4-cylinder engine, puts out 64 kilowatts, 120 Newton meters of torque out of the engine. You'll see quite a lot of features that are on the interior of the car as we move inside. Behind the wheel of the Grand i10, it's pretty comfortable for a car of this type. And being, again, mentioning the top level version, you've got your electric windows on your door, driver's door armrest, you've got your locking, as simple as that. You've even got a push button for folding the exterior mirrors in or out when you park the car. So it adds all these features to it. On your instrumentation, it's, yes, call it basic, but of course your trip computer down there, and that's the important one, because you can see, look at this, on my test here, 6.5 litres per 100 kilometers, and if I just scroll through, I'll tell you that that's over 420 kilometers. A lot of commuting duty, a lot of town driving, a lot of traffic, and yet I've managed to average, with no effort whatsoever, that 6.5 litres per 100, which I think is pretty exceptional. You've got your full, of course, multifunction steering wheel over here, and then, now remembering, on the top version, you do have your full-sized touchscreen system with over here the menu, and on this car it is a 2,500 Rand extra for the SD card for full navigation, which is very effective, works very well, and I must say I did like the use of that. Phone connection is very good, although the sound quality on phone was possibly not quite up to the best standards that I have experienced. I found people having a bit of an issue hearing me when I was using my phone in this car, yet I did have the volume right up. So a question you ask. Now, what they have done to make the car look pretty funky, I think, you saw the red exterior, and look at this, the matching interior as well on the dash of the red effect, the red trim. It looks very funky as far as I'm concerned. It makes the car look pretty good, pretty upmarket, and very neat as well, all at the same time. You do have a USB up top over here, and you come down, of course, to a 5-speed manual gearbox. Smooth, light, easy, what you would expect from a car of this sort. I think that's the easiest way to describe it. Pretty effective aircon system, good demisting features, etc. Another thing that I have to say I thought could be lacking, we're going to go back to the screen over here, is that although they've put the rear parking beepers, Hyundai, on a top model, could you not put a camera as well? Just a little question. I don't think it's a terribly expensive addition these days, and I would certainly have loved to have seen that added to this car. But I'm being very picky right now. But this car is going to be bought by young people and young families, so let's check out what it's like if you put people in the back seat. I've moved the back seat. You can see for a smaller hatchback, the driver's seat is set for myself. I'm pretty comfortable. There's plenty of legroom, and the headroom with my hat on, absolutely fine for me. 2 to 3 in the back, I'd say comfortably. You've got the nice effect, the two-tone with the red effect coming through, and your leatherette, so it's nice and hard wearing, nice and effective. Electric windows in the back as well. So I cannot give you competitors for this car because this video would be an hour long. It is such a crowded segment of the market. Hyundai dropped the base i10 and have replaced it with the base version of the Grand i10, starting at an incredible 150,000 Rand for the base version, with a smaller engine being a 1 litre, as opposed to this 1.2 in the Glide version. So you do have choices. The value is great. You get 2 airbags, ABS brakes as standard throughout the range. At 202,900 Rand retail price for this top of the range Glide version, I have to tell you that I think this is a great car and a great buy, but I feel the value is lower down in the range. Yes, if you really want all the extras, the luxuries like that touch screen and a few other items like that, it's worth paying the extra money. But for the difference in the engines, etc., and for the difference in some of those items, if I was putting down my hard-earned money for a B-segment hatchback, right now, I would be looking at the 1 litre lower versions of this one, simply because I think they are such exceptional value for money that in a way they almost prejudice this top of the range version. Nothing wrong with it. And if you look at Grand i10 sales over the last few months, Hyundai are moving big numbers of Grand i10s every single month, which proves that the market really appreciates this car. Overall, Grand i10 gets a big doff of the hat from me, whether it's this version or one of the more value for money versions. Doesn't matter which one it is. But if you're looking for a B segment hatchback, you need to check this one out. For Mud Matters, I'm Alan R, and I'll see you next time.